Hey everyone, Shannon here. This is our Ask Us Anything series. These are questions asked by you that we get answered from professionals in the field. And today we have Leslie Cashin with us. She is a marriage and family therapist associate who works with Creative Family Counseling and is currently seeing clients online with limited in-person availability for therapy sessions. She specializes in lots of things, including EMDR, trauma-focused CBT, play therapy, narrative therapy, the Gottman method, and solution-focused brief therapy. And she really works collaboratively with her clients. Typically, her clients are children who are 5 and up, families, individuals, and couples. Leslie is also trained in positive discipline parenting, where she's an educator, and that kind of HOPE program specializes in fostering happier homes. And if you want to learn more about her, get in contact with her, ask her questions, or see her as your therapist, just go to creativefamilycounseling.org. And then you
Mhm.
can find her profile and learn more about her there. But thanks, Leslie, for being with us today.
Thanks for having me on, Sharon.
Yeah. So we've got kind of a couple different things in one, but essentially what the question is what are some new tools for this individual to use to lower the anxiety that they may have, kind of return to a little bit more peaceful state of mind, and just feel a little bit more connected?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really great question. And it's something that I'm seeing a lot of my clients dealing with. And, as someone who deals with perfectionism and is a hard worker, I certainly have some anxiety too about things. So this is
Sure.
something I'm personally familiar with and have learned tools so that I can help my clients also to be able to handle anxiety. One of the things that I have found most helpful about anxiety is to kind of normalize it. Everybody generally has some kind of anxiety about something, even if it's a teeny little bit because they have a job interview or they're afraid they're going to run into their ex at some restaurant, or whether they have a lot of overwhelming anxiety about social situations or going to the store right now, because I know those are things that are happening too after a year of some isolation and some staying
Mhm.
home and apart. It can be really anxiety producing to go to those kind of situations.
Yeah.
So, one thing I like to tell my clients is that anxiety is a built in mechanism from our body just to keep us safe. You know, it's something we fight against, it's something we hate because sometimes it takes something as simple as walking into the grocery store or, going, like I said, into a job interview or something like that. And our body goes, oh my gosh, we're worried. There must be danger, like perhaps a saber-toothed tiger, harkening back to the days when we were, living in caves or whatever else.
Mhm.
And so, because our body overrides our nervous system in that way and makes us heightened and more alert, it's a lot harder for us to understand that we aren't in that kind of life threatening danger. Though, granted, there are times that we are. But generally, when we have anxiety, it's not because of that sort of thing. It's usually because of these feelings and reactions that our body is having and our mind is having that don't listen to logic. I don't know about you if you experience anxiety, but I try to logic myself out of it and it never works. Anxiety's like, ha, ha, just kidding. We're not listening to that. Things are scary.
Yeah.
So
Very
it's
different languages.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and different sides of the brain. So a few things that have really helped me and some of my clients with some anxiety is, first of all, to notice how you're talking to yourself. You know, Feeling anxious and then being mad at ourselves and beating ourselves up for feeling anxious is not helpful. We cannot bully ourselves out of being anxious. It won't work. So it's much easier, much better, not easier, actually, it's harder, but it's much better to treat ourselves with some love and some kindness and understand that the reaction that we're having, even though it may seem abnormal, because how many times have we gone to the grocery store in however many years that we've lived? Um, but it may seem, like a normal thing, but now our body is treating it as abnormal, and that's okay. It's okay for us to have that reaction. It's okay for us to feel anxious about it. And if we beat ourselves up, that's just going to make it worse and make it harder to get over because it becomes more of an event as opposed to something that we're going to work through. Do you
Mhm.
find that also to be the case?
Yeah, yeah, and definitely kind of turning towards it, which is, like you said, not always easier, but
Mhm.
sometimes works out to be more helpful of like turning towards it with like no judgment and kind of leaving the judgment at the door to be able to like just be with it and be like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
feel a
exactly.
little anxious
Approaching it
now. going to Kroger. Never had
Right.
it before, but I am right now. Okay, let's see
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like approaching it with some curiosity is really helpful. Oh, look at that. I seem to be really anxious, which is really hard, especially like the first time you feel it in a situation
Mhm.
when you're suddenly overwhelmed. You're like, oh my gosh. But if you can have the wherewithal to go, oh, I'm feeling anxiety. Oh, I wonder why, as opposed to, oh, I'm feeling anxiety. Run away or hide or whatever we might react instead, try to respond with some curiosity is helpful. And then to do that, I feel like it's good to be in touch with our body. Where do I feel it in my body? Do I feel it in my body in my stomach? And is that why I want to eat this entire cake? Or do I feel it in my shoulders? And my shoulders are really tense right now. Where in my body is the anxiety, and what does that say about what's happening in my nervous system and in my mind? And then after that, then we can work on some ways to work through it. So if I'm feeling it in my shoulders or in my chest and I'm feeling tight, maybe I need to move my body. Maybe I need to go for a walk. Maybe I need to stretch, or maybe I need to do something active so that it can kind of help me loosen up and be more grounded in myself and more connected to myself instead of just stressed out and kind of up here worrying about the future.
Mhm.
Or, am I waking up in the middle of the night and having the anxious sweats and, for whatever reason, worried about something that I have going on today? Maybe I need to get up and get a drink of water. Maybe I need to, put on some diffuser with some lavender or something like that. Something else that you can do to kind of take care of yourself in that moment. And that brings me up to another point, which is to learn some things that bring you comfort. Some things that that this is a go-to thing. Oh, I'm doing this thing. I'm active. I'm walking my dog. And while I'm walking my dog, I'm noticing I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not like the best day ever, maybe, but I'm grounded. I'm moving my feet. I'm walking my dog. I'm outside, even if it's cold and gross. Because right now, I mean, today is beautiful, sunshiny. But I don't know about you. You've just gone winter sporting, so you like the cold. I don't like the cold. It takes every ounce of my strength to get outside when it's cold. So, but once I do, I am happy to be out there, and I'm glad to do that. And so, if you learn, this is something I need to do. If I'm anxious, I need to move my body. I need to go for a walk. I need to do some yoga. I need to stretch. I need to do something like that, and that will help me. Or maybe you need to meditate and you need to spend some time kind of grounding yourself in that. Spending some time thinking about that everything is okay, meditating on a phrase like I'm okay, everything is okay. Maybe that's something. Or even a short thing. If you don't have time to do a 20-minute meditation or a 20-minute walk of your dog, and you're sitting in the waiting room and you're about to be called back for your dentist appointment, and you hate the dentist and you're having anxiety, then maybe you need to do a grounding exercise. Like my favorite is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. Are you familiar with that one?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to teach it to all my kids, and it's one that's definitely saved my life too,
Oh, yeah.
many times, because no one knows that you're doing it, and it's so quick to ground you and connect you to your body. So it's 5 things you can see. So you name that in your head. 4 things that you can touch that you're touching. 3 things that you can hear. And then I've heard different ones for 2 and 1. What are your favorite ones that you use for 2 on 1, Shannon? Do you?
Usually there's like taste, uh,
Mhm.
and I'm like blanking on the other ones you said, but
No, I think
yeah.
there's another one that I've heard, but then I also heard one the other day that was something you're grateful for,
Yeah.
which I thought was really great too, because
Mhm.
gratitude is such a change for your brain, right? If we're in that fear state and we can find something to be grateful for and we can kind of get onto that path, I think it's really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That reminds me of like the loving kindness kind of meditations.
Yeah,
Really.
exactly. And that's one of my favorite meditations, and it can be short and sweet and simple and to the point. And if you're not familiar with that, I highly recommend looking up, like Shannon said, the loving kindness meditation.
Yeah.
And that'll help connect to yourself, and that can help connect to the world around you, because the whole finish of the loving kindness is all beings everywhere, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that has covered a lot of things about anxiety. I feel like this is a topic you could talk about all day. I could talk about all day. And yeah, is there anything else you feel like we should cover, or how do you feel about that?
No, I feel like that covered a lot. And like you said, it's a obviously very broad topic that fits into our lives in all different ways. And has found its way into our life since March of 2020. And so being able to just know that there are tools out there, there are ways to be able to cope with, live with, learn more about how anxiety is showing up in our bodies. Um,
Mhm.
a lot of times it shows up in our head as a lot of chatter. And so I love that reminder that you say, it's like, find it in your body, like connect with it in a way that like seems approachable to you. And whether that's be like literally just being with the tension in your shoulders and that's it, or
Mhm.
if it's kind of taken other steps to, learn more about it, meditate with it, whatever, get external help with it, whatever it may be. There's so many options. And yeah, and of course, if people want to learn more about it, lots of blogs and all sorts of things you can Google, but always recommend guys just go into the Creative Family Counseling site, go to Mental Health Louisville site. We've got tons of resources and kind of cross reference stuff from all local therapists and healing professionals to help you out. And to remember that if you guys ever have a question for us that you want us to get answered by the mental health or wellness professionals local to Louisville, just DM us and we will get that question answered for you. But until next time, thank you, Leslie, so much for your time and your wisdom.
Thank you, Shannon. This is great.